Hello, welcome to Postdoc Chronicles week number 57. Before we dive into the Postdoc, let me talk about this new Warframe that I maxed. Her name is Banshee, and she's basically a sound-based Warframe, and she, excels in missions that involves spying, sort of, Metal Gear, because Warframe is not all about being guns blazing, going into the fray and then fighting, killing everyone. In some missions, you have to be like a ninja. You have to be stealthy. So that's actually one of the things I love about Warframe is the diversity, in the gameplay, and that's where Banshee shines because her passive is such that if you bring any weapons, her passive makes all those weapons by default silence because there are some weapons like, for example, the let me unslip the switch here. So there are some weapons like like say bazooka or something like that that's obviously very noisy, but her passive is such that this allows you to use these weapons without them being too noisy. So she's very good in spy missions, rescue missions, where you have to be careful not to be detected by enemy. So her first skill is called Sonic Boom. It's very cool when you're fighting enemies near the cliff or over the mountains, and then you're surrounded by enemies, and then you activate Sonic Boom. Boom, they're like pushed away. It has an impact damage, but basically it pushes them off the cliff. And then her second skill is Sonar, so she scans the surrounding area, and then the effect is that you and your squad, your teammates, would be able to find the weaknesses of the different enemies, because there are some enemies. Most enemies are weak on the head when you do the headshot, but there are some enemies that are weaknesses are found on the shoulders, on the hips, on their legs, etc. And if you activate Sonar, it basically highlights those different weaknesses, making it very easy to shoot for their aim for their weaknesses and then killing them right away. Her third skill, I believe, is silence. So she emits this again sound around her, and then when you walk around, as she walks around, there's like an aura around her that stuns and confuses enemies, and then they don't react very well to gunfire and stuff. And if you go near them and then you attack them, it gives you always gives you a stealth bonus, because typically when you go towards an enemy and then you attack them from the back, it gives a huge bonus damage due to the stealth bonus. With the silence activated, you always have that stealth affinity bonus activated. And then her final skill, the coolest, is called Sonic Quake. So as long as you have mana, she crouches on the ground, and boom, around her there's like a emanating sound pulses around her that damages enemies, and it keeps on going so long as you have the mana. It stops, the sound wave stops either when you stop it manually or when your energy, your mana reaches zero. So she's very amazing. Again, for things like spy missions, she does not have invincibility, unlike Limbo. So I think that would work best. But still, she's very good. And if you do it solo, she's not very good in burst damage and stuff. But yeah, she kind of has her niche in different situations. But anyway, let's go to my postdoc. So first is the MUED update. So like I told you last time, I asked Jong and Roberto whether we go for the option where I manually adjust the starting scale of the shower in the run card versus using the power and wimpy scale that has been implemented in the Pythia card. And both of them, they told me that to use the switch instead of manually setting it, because according to Jong, there's like a subtlety ongoing behind manually setting the starting scale of the shower. So maybe if I start it, the relevant thing that we are using in the power and wimpy scale is the factorization scale. Okay, and so maybe there's some subtleties behind the starting scale being passed into the factorization scale. So maybe there's like some issues there. So it would be better to use the manual toggle. So in other words, it means that whether we use matching or not, at least in the current data sets that I'm looking at, whether we just use parton shower or we use the matched matrix elements plus parton showers, the momentum distribution, the momentum spectrum gives the same result. So that's the direction that I'm headed. And then on the Dahig's project, Subhadip already asked me to give him the different cross sections resulting from the cuts implemented by the analysis that he wrote. And so I did that. But the thing is, we noticed that in implementing our cuts, because when you do huge number of events, usually there's a certain number of events that MadGraph can handle. So what you do is you actually separate them into different batches, and then for a good result, you expect that the moment you apply the cuts on them, the cross sections should not fluctuate very much. But in our case, there are some channels, for example, the top pair plus photons, where the different batches of events different give different results for the cross section. So sometimes there's zero altogether, sometimes they have a value, sometimes they have a larger value. So the solution would be to to increase the number of events generated. So right now I'm doubling the number of events generated. However, for the particular background that we have, the jets plus photons, we, like I said before, we don't know if the no signals after the cuts results from the fact that we don't have enough background events, or the cuts are very strong that we are killing all those backgrounds altogether. So what I did is I made 1 million background events for jets plus photons, and still after the cuts we are getting no numbers. So again, we proceed, assuming that the background from this channel after the cuts is effectively zero. Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. And then finally, I'm already like Jong already included me in this Doodle, meeting with the CheckMATE authors. So I was able to join their meeting just early this week, discussing about the next steps forward in CheckMATE. Like I said before, Jong wanted me to be part of the CheckMATE collaboration, so that in the future, after CheckMate was upgraded in order to accommodate the Run 2, then I would be part of the authorship. So right now, Jong asked me if I'd be interested in doing some analysis for the, again, incoming Run 2 searches that would be relevant for the CheckMate most importantly, the those that are related to physics beyond the standard model. So that's what I'll be doing mostly. So basically that's the update. Next week, I'll be going to Hong Kong to meet my girlfriend and her parents. It will be our 11th anniversary, in July 27. So I'll be in Hong Kong. So I don't know if I'll be able to update you for Postdoc Chronicles week number 58. Of course, I'll be still be doing that, but if I can do it there, then I'll try. But if not, then maybe it'll be a little late. It will come like, usually I do this towards the end of the week, but maybe that Post the Chronicles, if I can't find the time to do it, maybe it will come early next week. Just before Post the Chronicles week number 59. Okay, so that will be 58. But anyway, that's this is Post the Chronicles week number 57. I'm still gonna eat my lunch, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.